Since Peaky Blinders released, starting with Tommy Shelby, some of characters from series started to be talked about a lot. And Tommy Shelby is one of the best written characters ever, no doubt. He's ambitious, charismatic, clever, capable of doing so much things. Of course everything he did was staged, but still, there are some solid lessons what I learned and you can learn to apply in your real life to achieve your goals from Tommy Shelby. First lesson that I learned from Tommy Shelby is carrot and stick rule. Especially this one is one of the most important lessons because as you know in the real life, people live together and depend each other. So in order to make them to do what you want, you will need to apply this rule sometimes. It's a metaphor for the use of a combination of reward and punishment to induce a desired behavior. Most of the time, when we want something from someone, we try to convince them by telling how important this is for us and expecting that they have to help us because we need it. No, actually they don't have to, because there's no reason for that. So in order to get what you want, you should give or create them a reason to help you. For example, if it's gonna be profitable for them, then it's likely gonna be easier to convince. Here in this scene, Tommy needs Linda's help for his brother's sake, but Linda has no reason to help Tommy. So in this case, Tommy is really giving a big carrot to take her help. This big carrot line is important because we are gonna cover it later. But now in this scene, Tommy is not just telling why he needs her, how much important this help for his brother, blah blah. Tommy knows how to play the game, so he's just giving an enormous amount of money, so he creates a reason for Linda to help.
I will write your foundation a check for £10,000.
And Linda accepts this offer because Tommy knew what she needed. He just exchanged the way of deal from one-sided favor to mutually favor by giving her carrot. Now let's back to the big carrot line. In some cases, you don't actually need to give the both carrot and stick. Sometimes it may be enough to give a bigger carrot and that may save you from creating a punishment scenario if they choose the stick. But if you are not in a position which you can't give bigger carrot, then you need to give a stick at the same time in order to get the same amount of success rating. For example, in the relationship with Tommy Shelby and Billy Kimber, Tommy tries to take the protection of Kimber's races, so he will have a chance to fix in the races. But he just doesn't offer this and tells how important this for him and blah blah. Instead, he already fixed in one of his races and gave the stick. After he got Kimber's attention, he offers protection and tells him that he's enemy with the Lee family too, which is the gang Kimber has problem with dealing. So the carrot in this scenario is, if Kimber accepts this offer, he will be protected by the Shelby family and with that, he will be got rid of one of his enemies by making them friend. And also from the Lee family by combining their power. But if he refuses, the stick is, Lee family with Shelby's will go harder and harder. I think you got the idea. This lesson is really a lifesaver and changer. You can apply this anytime and it's gonna be more profitable than just telling why you need this help or how important this for you. Second lesson that I learned from Tommy Shelby is asking state-breaking questions. Like the first one, this one is another important lesson that you can apply anytime whenever you need. It doesn't matter what situation you are in, it will always be beneficial for you. Tommy always uses this trick to overcome his enemy in a conversation. In the end of the day, he always gets what he wants and never ever lose a conversation. Just ask questions which will break the flowing of the conversation. This is a great way to take your power back in the moment and people will not even realize that. They will just answer your question back mostly, which will make you reclaim your control over them. Thomas Shelby is the expert in the usage of the state-breaking questions. When someone tries to intimidate him, he shifts the subject by interrupting the other person and asking a new question that largely has nothing to do with the current topic of conversation. For example, let's have a look at this scene. Tommy knows that he's in a disadvantaged position, so he shouldn't handle things as he used to. And that is a great example of when you need to apply this method. When the price tells some things which is obvious that will end bad for Tommy, he asks his first state-breaking question.
What's your dog's name?
Of course Price knows that trick too.
You visited your sister.
So he didn't fall.
Hey, what's your name, boy?
And again, he's just looking like doesn't give a fuck about what the price tells and tries to have his way.
I think I'll just call your dog Boy.
as you see, he still continues to try to break the flow of the conversation. Finally, Price realizes that he can't corner him and take over the conversation as he wants, so he finally comes to the main point instead of trying to press him more. And as you see with this reply,
"Are you hearing me, Mr. Shelby?"
it's obvious that finally he was able to break the conversation, and now he can redirect it as he wants. That's how you can redirect a conversation and overcome your enemy with just asking questions. When we are under pressure, our instinct is to follow the suit and agree the conversation's way being established by someone who has control over us. By doing this, we hand over control over the dialogue and, in negotiations, this frequently results in poor outcomes. The state-breaking question is an obvious out-of-place question that interrupts the one-sided conversational flow. You should immediately learn this method in real life and do not forget to apply whenever you need it. Third lesson that I learned from Tommy Shelby is,
Big fuck small.
I know this sounds a little fun, but it's really important. You wouldn't want to step on someone's feet who is bigger than you. Actually, you can tell that this lesson comes from Alfie, but the one who applies this in the series, as we've seen so far, was the Tommy itself. It starts even with the first season. Here in this scene, Billy Kimber wants to show everyone that there, he holds power. He's the boss currently. Basically, he's just trying to show that he's bigger than them. So he just throws a coin to the ground and tells them to pick it up. Picking that coin from the underground symbolizes that you are accepting that he's bigger than you by bowing your head against him. Of course, his brothers know this too, but they're not moving. Even Tommy is not willing to pick it up, but he knows that he shouldn't step on someone's feet who is bigger than him. That was a great example of when Tommy applies this rule. Here's another example. Against Luca Changreta, he made it looks like he wanted to surrender because he couldn't handle with him, and he just found someone who can handle with Luca.
So I had to find someone bigger than you.
That is the way how this method works. In the real life, be careful about not stepping on someone's feet who is bigger than you, or they can overcome and get rid of you easily. If you did it anyway, you can try to find someone who is bigger than your enemy to overcome him. And also, it's connected to the first lesson. Tommy offered Alphonse Cabana a chance of having all the liquor business that Luca runs in New York without having a war. That was the carrot. And the stick here is, if Alphonse refuses that offer, he needs to have a war in order to take Luca's business and grow more. As you see, sometimes for some people, or for some situation, both carrot and stick can be the same thing for them. And the last lesson that I learned from Tommy Shelby is hiding your intentions. You can't see this lesson in any other video, blog or anywhere. This lesson can get you to the top of the mountain if you use it. It's sneaky, so I think most of the people couldn't use it well or without doubt, but that's the way of ambitious people. Tommy Shelby is not telling lies, of course, but he doesn't tell truth either if he isn't asked. He just hides his intentions and does his things to achieve what he aims for. For example, against Oswald Mosley, Tommy acts like he supports him or he's with Mosley in order to mutually benefit. But actually, his real intent was spying on Mosley to take him down to kill his message. You can't deal with the people like Mosley, who is way more dangerous, especially more dangerous than you. So in order to take them down, you can hide your intentions till the right time comes and just observe them. It's gonna be easier to hit the final blow when the time comes, and you can get one more step to the top of the mountain by taking them down one by one. Tommy doesn't apply this method really often, especially in the early episodes of the series, because he was already capable of handling with the enemies he had. But when the stronger people started to come, like Luca and Mosley, he had to hide his intentions till his last blow. He didn't exactly use it against Luca till the end of their war, because yes, Luca was slightly stronger than Tommy, but they were almost at the same level. So in the end, he had to use this method and act like he's lost. But against Mosley, he was in a clearly different league, so Tommy had to more sneaky and hide his intentions. Also, there's a motivation behind that moves, like doing good stuff for the world or helping people. But that wasn't what I tried to tell you. Alright guys, we came to the end of the video. Comment below if you have used any of these or if it's used against you. And please leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next one.